Full practice will not and should not entirely remove the sensation of fear from our climbing experience. Fear is just like any other emotion, and it will pop up from time to time. We should learn to be comfortable with all of our emotions, as this is simply a part of the human condition. With practice, however, we can learn to let go of the secondary emotions of shame, envy, and anger, which often come from judgments and criticisms we can sometimes give to ourselves when we feel afraid. Staying safe. There is nothing quite like the combination of best practice and experience in order to prevent accidents and injuries and to feel confident. Here is a quick summary for what I believe a foundation of skill should look like for safe, full practice. The experience and ability to climb efficiently on terrain at around French 6B+ or more. A strong foundation on how to clip quick draws easily, including effective clipping positions. A thorough knowledge of how to lead belay and hold falling climbers, including how to use assisted braking devices according to the manufacturer's best practice. The right partner. Pick a partner who has your best interests at heart, someone who is patient, attentive, and highly skilled at belaying. It is crucial during full practice that it is the climber who calls the shots and not the belayer, and so find a partner who is able to give you the space that you need without interrupting or trying to take over. Another factor in picking the right partner is someone who is able to provide a soft catch. This is a skill that requires plenty of practice and often requires the climber to provide feedback on whether the catch was soft enough. Falling off. In short, the process involves learning to fall whilst at all times keeping ourselves below a 7 on our 1 to 10 level of stress. There is no magic bullet, and everyone has to walk their own path and at their own pace in order to do this. The secret comes not from the falling, but from the mindful attention we give ourselves throughout the process. Before we decide to let go, take a moment to check in with how we are feeling and where we are on the scale. If we are, say, at a 6 or a 7, take some time to use our breath and any other tools we may have to lower the number by at least a factor of 1. If this doesn't work, perhaps lower ourselves down to a slightly lower hold or retreat and recognise that today may not be the day to push ourselves. It is important throughout the process to be kind and patient with ourselves. I commonly see people engage in critical self-talk or pushing themselves beyond their capacity to process their stress effectively, and I believe that more often than not, it is not the heights that are the problem, but our relationship with ourselves. During this process, keep coming back to recognising that what is most needed is to practice patience and self-compassion more than it is to fall from height. Letting go. Once we've chosen a suitable environment and climb, and we have decided we feel comfortable enough to let go, then it's time to engage in our pre-flight checks. First, check that we are suitably high enough and that our fall zone is safe and clear of any angles or objects. This is why being able to climb comfortably on 6B+ or higher is useful, as there are more opportunities to fall without impacting into the wall or hitting ledges. Next, ground ourselves in the physical world and not in our imagination by noticing our hands and feet and the feeling, sound or rhythm of our breathing. Finally, with a long, slow exhale, push ourselves away from the wall with only enough force so as to clear any obstacles or objects. The breath helps our muscles to soften and to stimulate the vagus nerve in order for us to feel safe and process stress. The most important part of the process comes once the fall has finished. We must stop and allow ourselves plenty of time to process the event. At this time, the nervous system is fired up and the body has adrenaline coursing through it. Give it the time and space it needs in order for it to learn from the experience and settle. Notice the sensations in the body that are present, and note also any particular thoughts or emotions as they arise before returning our awareness back to the sensation of body and breath. Only once we have returned back to a place of relative stillness have we processed our experience. This allows us more space to continue with our practice. That is the process. Pre-flight checks, grounding, breathe and let go, reflect, repeat. Getting comfortable with falling takes hundreds, if not thousands of falls, and if there has been some time off since our last falling session, the feeling of fear or anticipation will come creeping back, and so be prepared to practice self-kindness once more and to repeat the process. Learning how to fall is only one side of the equation. Perhaps even more importantly is becoming an expert at staying on. And I'll do my best to put the time into this aspect of climbing performance throughout 2021.